Welcome back, everyone, to the Transfer Weekly show here on Feeder Series. This now episode number 10. The season is approaching us very, very quickly. And with episode number 10, we have a lot of transfers to get through and a brand new guest to the show as well. I'm your host, Chris McCarthy. This week, coming up on the show, we have 2 transfers in FIA Formula 3 to cover. 5 in Frecka, and also we're going to be talking about the F1 Academy as well. We had 2 transfers in that. We're also going to be talking about the GB3 Championship because we have an ex-driver and race winner from that championship, now commentator, joining us this week. That is Piers Pryor. Piers, thank you very much for joining us. Really great to have you on the show, mate. I mean, you must be really excited for the season. How's the off season been going for you?
Yeah, thanks very much for having me on the show, Chris. Of course, I used to drive back in the series a couple of years ago, and now I've been presenting and commentating, very much enjoying it, doing that last year, and I'm back on again for this year. Very much looking forward to this season. Again, we've got some strong drivers lined up, but I won't do any spoilers for that yet, just quite yet. But yeah, I was down at Silverstone earlier this week, actually, and seeing some of the drivers testing as well. So yeah, it's all teeing up very nicely.
And I have to say, you did a fantastic job commentating, just as good as you were at the driving as well. And congratulations as well on your recent appointment to the team at Traction as well. On behalf of all of us, congratulations with that. Joining us as well, as I said, 5 Frecka transfers to get through. So we couldn't go this week without bringing in our Frecka editor. Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show, Percy Wolff. Percy, been a busy week for you, mate.
Yeah, very busy. ART especially made me really, really busy. But yeah, we've got all the F2 driver announcements. We've got nearly all the F3 driver announcements. So now, yeah, it's time for Frecka. So yeah, here I am.
Yeah, well, ART did all their driver announcements this week. I think they've been watching the series, and they just did it all at the end of the week as well, and sat back and now want to watch us scramble to get the show ready. We're going to come on to that shortly. First of all, we are going to start at the top. Like I said, we're going to be doing Formula 3. We're also going to be doing Frecka and F1 Academy. Let's start, shall I say, at the top of the tree with FIA Formula 3 and go to Genza Motorsport because they completed their driver lineup this week with 2 transfers. Let's start with the ADAC F4 reigning vice champion, Taylor Barnard. He's going to be making the step up from F4 and joining Genza Motorsport in FIA Formula 3. He's currently racing in the Formula Regional Middle East Championship with PHM Racing. He's sitting second in that championship as well with 3 podiums already, Piers. So he's having a fantastic start to his year, proving that he can run very quick in this car already. I mean, for British race fans, this is a very exciting signing, isn't it? And for Genza as well.
Yeah, really exciting British talent. Of course, we know how good he was in karts when he was previously former vice European champion and world champion, racing under Rosberg Academy famously, and clearly showing that he's translating that pace from his karting into car racing. Strong showings last year in F4, and now, of course, moving up to F3. But that's it's a big step. So I'm sure he'll be taking it as a learning year. But if he can get some good results this year, that'll hold him up well.
Yeah, as you said, he raced for Nico Rosberg. I mean, he must have learned a lot when he did that as well in karting. You know how it is to jump up into an F3 car. Tell us, what can he expect at making that move?
Yeah, I personally haven't driven the FIA F3 car. I've driven the GB3 version, but those cars, of course, much faster, much more powerful. A lot of the circuits are the same, but with some new circuits for them as well compared to the F4 European Championships, and it's a big step up, especially learning those Pirelli tyres, which I've heard are pretty tricky to get a hold of. And it's such a packed field these days. There's so many strong teams, so many drivers that have been in that series for even a few years now. But it's also a great opportunity for Taylor to show himself and show what he can do, because if he can prove himself well in his first year and potentially even get on some podiums and some race wins, then he might be right on the radar of some of those Formula One teams.
Yeah, as you said, he's definitely been on the radar of Nico already. Who knows? He could be coming under the radar of some more. But as Piers said, a fantastic karting career already. A vice champion in ADAC F4, just finishing behind Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Right, let's talk about his teammate now, the driver who is going to complete that Genza Motorsport lineup. And that is going to be Nikita Bedrin. Like Taylor, he is going to be making the step up from F4. He finished 4th in the the ADAC F4 Championship last year, and 12th in Italian F4 as well. He's done a couple of seasons now, Piers, in F4, so he's had some time to learn some of the circuits and also get some wins and podiums under his belt. Would you say he's now ready to make what is quite a big step up into F3?
Same as Taylor, of course. The step from F4 to F3 is a big step up, some new circuits. The talent pool, of course, every rung of the ladder you go further up, it just gets harder and harder. He's had a couple of seasons in F4, which hopefully will have got his brain around cars and how to use it. Again, we know he's got a very successful karting record from back in the day. As we know, Nikita is of Russian origin, so I'm sure that would have put sort of taken a bit of the wind out of his sails with everything that went on last year, and who knows how that's affecting the drivers, because ultimately it's not their fault that it's all happened, but it weighs on their mind. But glad to see him getting an opportunity in F3, because talent like this is deserving regardless of where you're from. And while he won't be flying the Russian flag, he'll be trying to do his best as much as possible.
Yeah, no, well said. I mean, obviously, Alex Mollard had to miss around last year, didn't he? But Nikita now racing under an Italian license. But just quickly before we move on to Frecka, Piers, this is a really strong lineup for Gens. Nikita Taylor, two drivers who raced against each other really in karting, won multiple European titles. Alex Garcia alongside them. But Gens didn't have a great season last year, 9th in the Teams Championship. What do you think about this? These are two drivers. William Alatalo proved that car can score points. I think these two can possibly go on and do the same. What do you think?
I think there's no reason why both of them can't score points. They're both top talents. We saw that in karting, and karting is effectively, as a lot of people say, the most pure form of motorsport, and it's where your talent can really be shown. These guys will be trying to push the team forward. Of course, they will have signed these drivers with the exciting thought that they maybe can move themselves up the team field as well. And if they can work well together, then there's no reason why they can't be a strong force. Or alternatively, if the team isn't so good, then there's no reason why this season, there's no reason why one of them or both of them could move on to other teams next year for a championship year.
Well, let's see what happens. It just makes that championship ever more exciting. Right, let's move to Frecka. As we said at the top of the show, ART completed their driver lineup all in 1 week. Let's start with the one driver who's going to be remaining in that team, and that is Dutch driver Laurens van Hopen. He made his debut full season in single-seaters last year, racing in Frecka. He's now going to be remaining with ART Grand Prix for a second season, just his second full season in single seaters. He got those 2 rookie wins, Percy, at Monaco. Overall, it was a pretty impressive rookie season for him.
So yeah, this will be the second season of Van Hopen in Frecka. ART has always claimed since the beginning that they would be on a 2 years plan with him to make him grow, to make him progress, as he needed time. He had only done 9 single-seaters races with 7 wins in Ultimate Cup Series before with the Formula Regional car. So yeah, in 2022, he finished only 21st with 4 point finishes, but we have seen, as you said, some glimpses of brilliance, like in Monaco, where he has been really shining with these 2 rookie wins. But maybe we could have expected a bit more to see a bit more of a progression during the end of the year, and we haven't seen it really. But now for 2023, as Mini or Sosi before him, he has to take the leadership of ART to guide them through a title fight. This could totally be a breakthrough year. Maybe as Beganovic, who was very discreet in Frecka in his first year before clinching the title on his second season. We also have to note that Van Hopen has been very, very fast in post-season testing. So yeah, let's see how it turns out.
He was always looking towards the future plan anytime I spoke to him as well. But very well said. He's going to have to lead that team, like you said. Let's get on to the first of his teammates then. This is going to be someone you might recognize or be familiar with now if you've been watching the Formula Regional Oceania Championship. And that is going to be Charlie Wirtz. He won the UAE F4 title last year. He finished in the top 10 in 3 Formula 4 championships, UAE F4, Italian F4, ADAC F4, also represented Austria at the Motorsport Games as well. An exciting signing this. I mean, he's proven that he has completed F4. I think it's fair to say, Percy. I think he's ready for this now, isn't he?
Yeah, totally. As expected, so Charlie, the son of F1 driver Alexander, will be joining ART this year. after 2 F4 years with Prema, where he has collected a couple of wins, finished 4th of Italian F4, clinched the title in United Arab Emirates. He has showed his talent, but he has been a bit outshined by some of his rookie teammates, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, of course, and Rafael Camara. However, he has showed his speed and also his technical feedback that has been prized by teams like Campos in Spanish F4, who engaged him for several weeks to improve the setup of the car. So now this winter, he's currently racing in Oceania, in New Zealand. And at the time I'm speaking, he's leading the series. The series may not be as competitive as Formula Regional Middle East, but it is quite an achievement to master so quickly this so complicated to drive Formula Regional car. So he will surely be one to watch in Frecka this year.
I think so. And completing the driver lineup, I think personally another driver to watch, and that is going to be Marcus Armand. He's going to be making the step up from Formula 4 as well. He finished 9th in the Italian F4 Championship last year, but this is a kid who won some major championships in karting. He was the FIA European champion, beating Andrea Kimi Antonelli in 2019, and won the Rotax Max Challenge Grand Finals, beating James Wharton in 2017. So this is a kid that can go toe-to-toe with some of the big names in the feeder series here, Percy. And I think for the rookie title, he's going to have his eyes on that, isn't he?
Yeah, totally. First of all, happy birthday to Marcus, as he has turned 17 yesterday. But yeah, this move to Frecka is very exciting, as the Finnish-born French driver has gained the reputation of a prodigy during his karting years, as you said. But his adaptation to single seaters and to F4 was very, very complicated, and he struggled a lot physically, but also mentally. In 2021, he was nearly he was going to stop racing. Last year was much better with US racing. He finished 9th, 1 podium, but it's really during the post-season testing in Frecka that he really convinced ART to sign him. While we could have expected him to be behind Wolff, as in Italian F4, he had the same pace, sometimes better than him. And he has also been faster than some of the other drivers tested by ART, like Sami Meghtouni, Javier Sagrera, etc. So ART now has a strong but also balanced lineup. And I think the 3 drivers could fight together to push the whole team in the same direction.
It's interesting to hear what you say. That I think if he can find that confidence that he had when he was racing on the world stage in karting, he can really be a strong force within that team, and also within the Frecka Championship. We're now up to 16 drivers in there. That grid is growing very, very quickly. Okay, we must move on with the show. We're going to move next to Formula Academy because they announced the first of their drivers last week. Let's start over at ART. Lena Bula became the first driver to be announced, only 4 years into her racing career. She's raced in the likes of Frecka, Spanish F4 as well, currently racing in UAE F4. 25 years old, Piers. Some people were a little bit critical of the age, but hey, Jake Hughes at 28 years old is doing a great job in Formula E, isn't he? And Jamie Chadwick, Indy Lights for her as well at a similar age. So I'd say it's good to see her being given this opportunity. What do you think?
It's an amazing opportunity, and a lot of an opportunity that most of the drivers on all of the grids would love is, a subsidized drive in a top level single seater category, which is Formula One Academy, which is kind of almost stepping in where W Series has unfortunately for now at least taken a step back. So an amazing opportunity for her. I think the age thing is somewhat it's somewhat subjective, because there's no reason why someone who's 25, who's still, fairly young in the scheme of life, can't race in a single seater category. And the whole reason that the Formula One Academy and the W Series previously have existed is to give young female racing drivers an opportunity to race at this level that they may not otherwise have, and try and increase the diversity in our sport. Because of course, if we can increase the number of women interested in racing, that increases the talent pool, which of course is better for motorsport as a wider thing. So I only see the F1 Academy as a positive thing. Lena Bula, of course, will be very happy to have been the first driver announced. And then there's some other announcements have been coming out and will be coming out very shortly, I'm sure.
Yeah, Bianca Bustamante became the second driver to be announced over at Prema. She's currently with Prema over in the Middle East, racing in the UAE F4, raced in W Series as well. So that's going to give her some confidence. Took a best result of ninth, raced in USF Juniors. I saw she did some racing in the likes of Super Nationals as well in Las Vegas when she was in karting. So that's going to be she's forming a good relationship with the team here, Piers, pre-season over in the Middle East, which she can take into the series.
Not a bad team to have a good relationship with, is it, Prema?
Yeah.
Of course, Prema being the juggernaut in this junior single-seater to ranks, they pretty much win or have won every championship at some point and are almost always the team to beat. So she's forming a great relationship there, and I expect Prema to be probably the team to beat in this new series as well. Of course, the cars won't be unfamiliar, using a car, and they're not new cars, they're the Tatus T421 chassis, which a lot of the teams are very familiar with. It'll be less of a step up for Bianca than potentially Lena, because she's of course competed in the W Series, which followed Formula One under a very similar structure. So she'll be very well placed for a good season. Be hoping to get some more top 5 finishes after only a best result of 9th last year in the W Series.
Yeah, we'll wait to see where the other drivers, so all the teams, ART, Campos, Carlin, MP, and Prema, the teams, and drivers will learn how to prepare technically, physically, and mentally alongside these very established teams. So best of luck to them, and we'll keep you updated with the rest on here. Okay, we must move quickly now. I'm going to come back to you, Percy. We've got 2 more announcements in Frecka to cover. Let's start at KIC. Shannon Legassi became the first driver there to be announced. He completed the driver lineup there. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about Shannon, Percy?
Yeah, so he will be a new name to Feeder Series fans this year. He's 16, he's Swiss, he has limited experience in professional motorsport, but he has been driving in the Ultimate Cup Series, like kind of mix of amateur professional series that has revealed drivers like Grégoire Saucy or Laurens Van Huppen. So that means he has already some experience with the Frecka car. And as his teammate Ikaru Karinen, both have very limited high-level experience, and they will surely try to close the gap with their teammate Maya Wurg, who is quite a highly rated driver, as she has collected really solid results in Italian F4, and she's a part of the Ferrari Driver Academy. And I think the experience of Legassi with the Formula Regional car in Ultimate could help him to get up to speed quicker.
And over at Monolite as well, they made their first announcement with the signing of Giovanni Maschio. He became the first announcement there, of course, accelerating his career very, very quickly here, Percy. He did Italian F4 last year, his first season, but jumping straight up after convincing them through some testing, it seems.
Yeah, he has been testing with the team for several months already, but he will have to show some very strong progress after his maiden Italian F4 season. That was quite complicated, but we have to note also that he was with one of the least competitive teams. He's currently racing this winter in Formula Regional Middle East to prepare the Frecka campaign, and he came close to scoring his first point by finishing 11th in the first race in Kuwait. So maybe these are some signs of progress.
Just 2 other updates very quickly to bring you. Noel Leon has left Frecka. He's going to be at Euro Formula Open with Team Motorpark. Tasanopol Intrafuvazak as well becomes the first Euro Cup 3 driver to be announced as well. You can get more updates on that on the Feeder Series website. We must close the show there, guys. I'm very sad to say. I mean, before we do go, Piers, we have to come to you. You said you were seeing some GB3 cars having started your new job now at Silverstone. Just tell us a little bit about what we can expect this season so far from what we're seeing.
GB3 is very much a competitive series that's on the up at the moment, with more drivers every year in the last 3 years. Super competitive. We've seen some drivers like, of course, the Carlin driver whose name has escaped me, who's now in FIA F3.
Zach O'Sullivan.
Zach O'Sullivan, of course, making the step up. Of course, I completely forgot his name. But again, strong lineup. Luke Browning winning last year, and he's obviously done really well in the Le Mans Virtual. But we've got some great drivers. Callum Voisin is back, who is definitely going to be a championship challenger. He finished 4th last year. Rodin Carlin Racing have pretty much announced their whole lineup, and they were testing out at Silverstone this week, one of their first tests of the year. We've got Nico Christodoulou back at Arden, a new driver, Arthur Rodgion, at Chris Dittman. Douglas are yet to announce any drivers. One at Mackenzie Cresswell at Elite, and Fortec also full already after a very strong showing with with Joel Granfos last year finishing second and taking Luke Browning right to the wire. Esterson, Edward Pearson, and Jared Boberski, who's the GB4 vice champion, filling those spots. Hill speed, no drivers so far. And then, of course, notably, Alex Dunn at High Tech, the British F4 champion, making the step up. He'll be very fast, I'm sure, with that car, we know, being a championship winning car. And then just today, Matthew Rees has been announced back at JHR. He will be very, very fast this year, I'm sure, as well, putting in hopefully a championship challenge after some excellent showing last year in that JHR car.
Well, we hope and look forward to hearing you back on the coverage with Lewis McGlade as well. Keep up the fantastic work, Piers, and thank you for joining us as well. It's been fantastic to get your insight. Percy, thank you for being back with us as well. This has been Transfer Weekly episode number 10. We're going to do it all again next week in episode 11. Do give us a like and subscribe here on Feeder Series. Let us know your comments and what you think of these transfers so far. And do go and check out the latest episode of our podcast as well, which featured Andrea, Kimi, Antonelli. But that's all for episode number 10. We'll be back for episode number 11 next week. For now, though, it's goodbye.